Into the ropes and off. A flying tackle by and a drop kick.
10 pounds of pure gold.
Got to hold this just a minute. You want a little bit of
I'm the real heavyweight champion.
That'd be the best of me. More to me than anything I've ever done in wrestling.
They call this the 10 pounds of gold. The championship has existed in its current proper form since 19.
That was pretty hard. And look at Buddy going to work now. Oh.
Hey everybody, it's Durger time. Thank you for joining me once again for another episode of Billy Corgan's NWA. We came off of a pretty good Power. It wasn't amazing. Well, actually, it says it was excellent according to this. But we have some big news that we kind of left off, which is Sheamus is leaving WWE and is pick-upable. He is willing to negotiate. This is a tough one, and part of it kind of feels like a no-brainer in terms of skill department, in terms of rating. The only problem is he's going to cost a bit of money, money that we might not necessarily have. Obviously, we lost a lot of money last month. A lot of that had to do with the production costs, but also mostly as well as the cost of the buyout CZW. But it still cost a lot of money, right? Now, granted, we paid a lot of extra for our super show, and so it's not necessarily a indicator of things going sour. But we only have a thin margin. Do we have the money to grab this guy? I think he might be the most popular guy we'll have. 68. I was looking at some of the comments. A lot of you guys say, "Yeah, maybe pick him up." And the price isn't too bad. I think we're gonna have to let some people go to make it work. Just to groom the roster down. I think we need to let go some people anyways. 2,100 per show, merchandise cut of 35. It doesn't seem horrendous if he will take that. Let's go for now. There's no downside. We'll bring him in. Now, what we might have to look at is grooming the roster. Now, the roster is bloated right now because we have all these people in the tournament. But, we have a bunch of other people that are here that are not actually in the tournament right now. We actually have some people that are kind of upset. Caleb Conley's upset about something. What are you upset about? Where's your morale? Unwilling to negotiate. He's not going to come back with us anyways. I'm not sure what his problem is. Why are you angry? I'm trying to think of where you find this now. Might not be on this screen. We might have to need to go over here. One of the constant problems of this is angry. Why are you angry, area? Furious at booking a Power. What was the last in September? What happened that you were so upset about? You're not in any of my I might just let him go. That might be one of our roster grooms. How much are we paying you? Too much? You're only getting paid 80 a show. It's not going to be a significant. I think we can just release them, and that'll solve some morale issues anyways. To the 3 people that are really big Caleb Conley fans, I'm sorry. AR Fox is annoyed, but we're going to keep him. Cash is annoyed, and we're going to keep him. Nick Aldis is annoyed, we're going to keep him. Everybody else is normal or pleased, not the end of the world. So the other thing we're going to have to look at is our show cost. So, the issue here is that he is going to cost almost double our biggest star. Not quite double our biggest star. That's a little bit of exaggeration, but he's going to be up there, right? So, well, we're not paying downsides. So it's not that big of a deal. We might actually not have to get rid of that many people anyways. We might hold off on it, on getting rid of people, especially because we have so many. We can get rid of Gordon, because Gordon's dead. right? I think we murdered him, so that's gone. I'm also thinking of getting rid of in terms of our tag team scene, getting rid of Villain Enterprises. I'll hold off on it for now, but I don't really see much of a use for them right now. It's really not that much they're going to do for us, and they're just kind of taking up space. Like, they're not really costing us anything, though, but I have no real intention of using them. We're just going to get rid of them. It's fine. It's fine. We're kind of done with them. We were done with them when Marty Scurll left anyways, and now that they're no longer the bodyguards of Nick Aldis, it's fine. We don't need them. We got other things going on. We got a lot of people on this roster, but again, a lot of this is people that are part of our tournament. Now, the other thing we're going to do, we said that each round of the tournament is going to be decided differently, and we said that we were going to be deciding it randomly. Unfortunately, looking at how this shook up already, it's very obvious that the random on TEW is not random. And I feel like I knew this going in, but I probably just forgot about it. I think it just entirely decides on popularity, in which case I don't think that's very interesting for the first round. So what we're going to do is literally an actual coin flip. And I'm going to get a coin, we're going to flip it, and that's going to be the decider for the first round. So it will be completely random. That will allow me to not necessarily bring my preferences in terms of who I like to win. It's just going to be entirely random. Also, we need to change your personnel alter alias. Where is your aliases? There you are. Load. Mr. Scott Belly. Perfect. All right. So that is all settled, and I think Sheamus will be a good get for us. It will be helpful. Expensive, yes, but maybe something that will be worth it in the long run when we have that opportunity. We got 21 days to Halloween Havoc, so let's just fast on forward to the next episode of Power. Looks like our contract is back. Let's go ahead and complete that signing. We got Mike Bailey fully fit. Durger's gone. He's still doing his thing in AEW as our Alliance champion, which is fine. And I don't think we need to do anything for Sheamus here. I think we're going to keep his real name, probably. Sheamus O'Shaney. It's actually not his real name, but, you know. But we will use that. Unless we end up getting a better name. Give him a really stupid name like Big Red. Be able to work totally fine. Working heel. Do we need him as heel or do we need him as a face? Look at our breakdown here real quick. We got quite a bit of baby faces. Not a lot of baby faces in the major star. Fatu technically is a face. Eli Drake is a face. Pillman Jr. is a face. Yeah, probably heel's fine. All right, we're fine. All right, we got one more day to go. Let's get on over to Power. Let us get ourselves set up and situated here. We need our arena. Done. And it did look like we had some, yes, we do have some backstage incidents to worry about. Two of them, let's see. Thunder Rosa helped create a great atmosphere backstage, pulled a great rib on the entire locker room, and had everyone laughing. And TJP brighten the mood after several funny cartoon drawings of his colleagues was made. Interesting, not bad. We could do some locker room controls. We might... I don't know if we can meddle with anybody right now. Let's try to, though. Meddling has a reasonable chance of succeeding. Let's try. No effect this time, but we'll work on that. That would probably not be too bad to try to build something there, try to build another friendship in the area. All right, let us book our show and move on. All right, guys, we've got a packed show, including 3 pre-shows with our Circle Squared tournament that I randomly picked with a random picker app. Basically, it was a coin flip app. So we got a pretty random selection of who's going to be the winners for the first round of that. And other than that, we got a pretty stacked show. A lot of stuff going on. Probably cost a lot of money. I'm terrified to see what that looks like. But without it, let's go ahead and get into our 2-hour power. So we start in the pre-show with our Circle Squared tournament, and we got King Mo versus Leo Rush. King Mo is the winner of this match, actually beats Leo Rush in 9 minutes of submission with a leg lock, and moves on in the Circle Squared tournament. Actually did pretty good, lifted the announcing quality, lifted the match a little bit, and yeah, that's not too bad. Leo actually was one of the people I kind of wanted to keep around, but fate decided differently. That's fine. Gets us a 45 on a pre-show, which doesn't really matter, but that's fine. Dalton Castle versus Dr. Cube the Third. This would be a tough one for me to pick personally, but I think fate decided the correct winner here. Dalton Castle moves on by defeating Dr. Cube the Third in 7 minutes with a deadlift German suplex. Dalton had a 54. Dr. Cube had an 18. And yeah, it's not bad. Dalton moves on in the tournament. One of my favorite wrestlers, so that's always fun to see. All right. And we got Zack Ryder versus Lance NOI. Somebody's very mad about this match because Zack Ryder actually lost it. Lance NOI defeated him in 13 minutes by pinfall with a wild Samoan splash. You know, crazy things happen, I guess. Zack is real pissed. He woo-woo-wooed right out of the building. But he had a 39. Lance had a 29. Both of them got adequate ratings for their gimmicks. And Lance moves on in the tournament. Got us a 33 in the pre-show. Interesting. Did not expect that for fate. If we were to let the game decide, Zack definitely would have won. But it's kind of interesting. It's a little bit of a change there. I like it. We start the show with Danhausen coming out as the new general manager. He kind of comes out and announces that he's the general manager, and he's excited for the show and says hopes everyone is going to enjoy and watch it. And he's told backstage from somebody that he was supposed to book the show tonight, and then looks nervous and says, I will be right back, and runs away. Presumably to furiously scribble last-minute notes to actually book the show. So he did not know what his role actually was. But he enjoyed the freedom of going off script and performed well out on stage. Got a 49, not a bad opener, actually. And we'll move on. This is a worse opener. Poor Tim Storm Jr. trying to give him a win here. We had an awkward pairing between him and Mark Sherman. Terrible wrestling, non-existent crowd heat. Tim Storm Jr. defeated Mark Sherman in 8 minutes by pinfall. It's not great. He only has 17. Sherman had a 28. It's not great. Cooled the crowd a little bit. I think we might have to send Tim Storm Jr. to CZW to develop. He'll come back as this jaded, edgy deathmatch wrestler. Because 17s are not gonna fly here. All right, a little bit better of a segment. We got AR Fox out there, and he's doing he's in an interview right now, and he was talking about the mess of a tag match last week that kind of ended with I think it was a total disqualification of everybody as everyone kind of just started fighting. And he says to the interviewer that, it was a bunch of big egos swinging around, trying to show off. Everybody wanted to be the top dog here, and it showed in that match. I mean, the only problem is that there's only one me. There's only one top dog. And I'm on a path to greatness here. First, I'm going to get the Alliance Championship, and then I'm going to elevate its importance. Then I'm coming for the 10 pounds of gold. And that seemed to trigger a reaction from one of his competitors in that match, Eli Drake, who interrupts the interview coming out, and he's looking a little bit upset, a little bit like he's got a chip on his shoulder. And he tells him, "You ain't coming for anything, kid. You don't get to just hotshot your way to the top." They kind of argue back and forth until it's basically said that if you want to prove yourself, let's see how you handle yourself in a singles match, one-on-one. It sets the stage for our main event, which is AR Fox versus Eli Drake in an exhibition match. Gets a 53. They both did well with just entertaining in this sort of exchange. So I'm not shocked, and we set up our main event. We have a women's tag match, a trios match between sort of our faces and heels, kind of a very like Chikara style trios match of just putting everybody together. Give them some opportunities to wrestle and continue some storylines. So we got Crazy Mary, Kimberly, Ashley Vox versus Willow, Bianca, and Allison Kay. Decent wrestling match. Did not have much heat though. The team of Crazy Mary, Kimberly, and Ashley all win, defeating them. Who was it? Crazy Mary pinned Bianca with a split leg moonsault. Hit a 51, 53, 58, 47, 32, and 34. Gives us a 51 and a win for Crazy Mary and the team. Afterwards, Tessa Blanchard, who was watching Crazy Mary's match last week, came out and attacked her from behind, seemingly maybe a little bit frustrated with her lot in the roster and the division, as well as maybe a little bit of jealousy as new people start to show up. Obviously, she has a big chip on her shoulder after having lost the title match against Natty Neidhart, and seems to be taking it out on somebody else. Gained some heat for a new storyline between them. And segments 47, not too bad. Afterwards, we got Josephus to the ring, and he begins to, again, sermonize, talking about, true challenges of adversity and how we have to test our mettle to really prove our worth here and in the cult. And Brody's behind him and says, I have a new follower who has shown that he has the courage to walk the path of greatness with him, and he will overcome any challenges that he sees. And then Pentagon Dark debuts. Josephus doesn't seem too surprised, but Brody does. And Pentagon seems to challenge Brody. It seems to be his first test against something. So it seems like Josephus almost knew that Pentagon was coming out. And it seems to be a challenge for Brody to see how he will perform. Josephus did a masterful job improvising interactions with the crowd. And Pentagon enjoyed going off script in his sort of segment. Gives us a 53 and gives us a match between Pentagon Dark versus Brody Lee. It is pretty good. 62. Superb wrestling and great heat. Pentagon defeats Brody Lee in 11 minutes by pinfall. With a styles clash, no doubt. That's interesting. They had great chemistry, pretty good chemistry. Lifted the match. So 67 and 64, not too bad. Afterwards, Brody is just shocked. He kind of thought that he had it in the bag, and he's clearly beside himself. Pentagon Dark just smirks at him and then walks away. And Josephus kind of is in the corner, kind of slightly consoling him. Josephus seemed like he knew what was about to happen, and it seems like this is almost a test for Brody Lee to see if he can really overcome something. And so he has a interesting path to walk here. He had a 57 for the segment. Afterwards, we have a tag match, big old elimination match with War Machine, Ascension, Contra Unit, and FTR. FTR defeat them all after defeating Contra Unit first, then Ascension, and finally War Machine. I think we're going to have to break up Contra Unit. I think their time as a tag is over, and I think I'm going to probably drop Machete to just a manager. And I think it's time for Fatu to run in a single scene. So expect that inbound. I don't know how that probably going to be after Halloween Havoc. I might do a storyline with them. Mixed bag all around, very wildly variety in terms of in-ring performance here. Dash and Cash technically re-debut because they both left the company after their contracts expired, but we picked them back up for their win in the Second Shot tournament. Great chemistry all around and a bunch of things. Gave us a 48, which is not bad considering the weirdly mixed composition of people. And obviously FTR get a big win, going dominant over most of the tag scene. Afterwards, they call out the Von Erichs. Where is the other one? There was supposed to be a third. I don't know. Oh, well. Don't know why. But just Kevin and Ross. I don't know where the other brother is, I guess. Where's Marshall? I thought I selected him. Maybe I didn't save it right. But FTR call out the Von Erichs, and I guess Ross shows up and Kevin by his side. And tells them that they are coming for the titles, giving them kind of a once-over over the belts, and probably going to be the first true challenge for the Von Erichs. The Von Erichs have been able to cheat their way now to holding the titles for a while, but it seems very clear that FTR are looking to grab the NWA titles. It's pretty much going to be a, not necessarily career-defining moment, but it's definitely probably a career achievement for them. For a group of old school wrestlers to want to obtain that. This segment, unfortunately, gets a 36. It's probably mostly on the weaker end, just in terms of overness for the Von Erichs. No, this segment performed worse than I thought it would. That's unfortunate. Ace Austin is in the ring with the other members of the Smokin' Aces, and they are celebrating their championship win from last week. And they are holding up the Founders Championship, which allows him basically to be like a Money in the Bank briefcase for any title in the company. And he is celebrating and gloating and mocking how they basically rigged the match by having most of them be in the same match. That wasn't really necessarily their decision. It's just sort of how it shook out. But it allowed them to get a very easy win. Eddie Kingston, though, very upset about the situation. He comes out furious with a microphone, but this time he comes out with a crew behind him. Some sort of misfits that has accumulated over the last couple weeks as they have progressively lost matches. We got Matt Cross, we got Ricky Starks, we got Royce Isaacs joining behind him. And he cuts some poison on the microphone here, and he says, this is the type of shit right here, where I just can't take things seriously anymore. You guys get to all show up one at a time, and somehow all your buddies get booked in the same match to win. This company's gone mad. We got preferential treatment to whatever reject from the Fed steps into the ring. We got seemingly no rules on collusion in matches. Hell, we got a literal clown running the company now. The inmates are running the asylum. Well, it's time for the boys to take things back. It's time to let the world know that we own pro wrestling. Not the fans, not the owners, not the bookers, not some corporate suits with the paper, and certainly not a little entitled Gen Z brat like you. So he's calling out Ace Austin directly, and it seems that Eddie has built an empire, a union of wrestlers that seem to be going against the company, against everybody else, and only working for themselves. This is sort of a manipulation of my old David Starr storyline that I wanted to do, changing it up a little bit, so I'm kind of happy to finally get it running again. But Eddie Kingston has formed a union of wrestlers that are not going to take other people's shit and are threatening to basically run over the everybody in the company. But his first main task is going to be fighting another group of people because he has a whole other stable in front of him. And they do have a match tonight. It's sort of an unofficial, non-sanctioned match, but I guess a ref does come out. All the members of both crews, the Union and Smoking Aces, have a big brawl. It's not a great match. It's pretty wildly inconsistent. The problem with Eddie's group is that there are a whole bunch of misfits and losers, but they do end up defeating Smoking Aces after Eddie Kingston pins Jarek 120 with a backdrop driver, and Matt Cross really off his game, unfortunately. Mixed bag in terms of in-ring performances, with the top dogs in terms of in-ring performance being Eddie and Ace Austin, and everybody else kind of just being in the mix there. It was poorly placed. It was a wild brawl when the crowd really needed a crowd that was buzzing or ready for action. So that kind of hurt us a little bit, just because some of the other matches kind of slowed things down. But the Union get a win. Aces get a significant challenger in their way and have to figure out a way to overcome it. And Eddie has now basically kind of made a claim and staked a claim in the company. Afterwards, Ace Austin gets beat down after his other crew gets singled out, and Eddie Kingston grabs the Founder's belt, holds it over Austin, and shouts, "This is my legacy," before throwing it into his face and walking away. So it seems that Eddie and Austin are going to be challenging each other. Seems that their rivalry is going to start building up. Segment does not do very well, unfortunately. And right before our main event, we got Pillman Jr. coming to the commentary booth to watch the main event. Does his challenger at Halloween Havoc, Eli Drake, is in the match, and he's going to be curious to watch it. Oh man, what just happened? Oh boy. Had great heat and good wrestling. Eli Drake defeated AR Fox in 14 minutes with pinfall with a roll-up. Unfortunately, Eli Drake sustained a broken jaw in this match, which really hurt its segment quality. It had a 53 and a 59 in terms of in-ring performance, but drops the segment down to 39. Eli Drake going to need medical attention. Yeah, that's not good. Pillman Jr. and Drake square off in the ring, but don't come to blows. That's probably for the best, as Eli Drake is now just pouring blood out of his mouth. Definitely probably getting attended to by the doctors. Pillman probably changing to almost kind of help cover for him, as clearly something horrendously went wrong in that main event. And Eli Drake got a jaw shattered. End segment, though, does well. A little bit of blood probably helps. And we finish the show off with a wildly inconsistent main event. This has a 48 overall, but some serious concerns about Eli Drake. I am afraid to look at this one. Crazy Mary and Sean and Eli Drake have been having problems recently, which is interesting. Dalton thinks Eddie is clumsy, and Eli Drake has sustained a broken jaw. We'll take a look at medical. That's probably not going to bode well. I don't know if he can work through that. 22 days is being worked through. Okay, so he can wrestle still. But boy, that's a rough. The Durger curse continuing. It looks like he should be fine for Halloween Havoc. If not, there's always Plan Bs going on. But man, that's a rough one. Of course, we also have a continuation of our Circle Square tournament as we continue. Some big movement, some interesting changes here. Still a lot of matches to go through, though, so keep an eye out on that. But anyways, that was it for me today. Thank you guys for joining me. I'll see you next time.